Good afternoon and many thanks for joining us on the news at 1 on NTA Port Harcourt Network Center. I am Ifoma Umisa. Transmission of the news can also be viewed on our social media platforms currently showing on your screen. Like our page on our platforms to get updates of our news and programs. Be a patriotic citizen, as ignorance of the law is not an excuse for breaking it. So obey the law. Rivers State House of Assembly has commenced impeachment proceedings against the state governor, Siminalayi Fubara. During plenary, Majority Leader of the House, Honorable Major Jack, presented before the Speaker a notice of alleged gross misconduct brought against the governor. Nkiru Onijisi reports.
The Majority Leader of the House, Major Jack, who said the House was relying on Section 188 of the Constitution, ruled out 7 points of alleged gross misconduct against Governor Fubara, including the demolition of the House of Assembly complex, extra budgetary spending, and withholding of the funds meant for the Assembly Service Commission. Supporting the motion, Deputy Leader Linda Stewart also brought forward a notice of gross misconduct against the Deputy Governor, Professor Ngozi Odu. Speaker of the House, Martin Amehule, alleged that the inability of the governor and his deputy to present the 2025 budget before spending is an offense and a threat to democracy.
26 members of the National Assembly have brought allegations against the governor and the deputy governor. It is important that the process be allowed to go through in line with the provisions of the Constitution.
This is the second time the Rivers State House of Assembly is initiating an impeachment process against Governor Fubara over the same allegations. In Port Harcourt, Nkiru Onijisi, NTA News.
President Bola Tinubu has praised corporate Nigerian citizens and other stakeholders in the Nigerian capital market for surpassing the 100 trillion milestone on the Nigerian exchange. President Tinubu described this record achievement as an inspiration for the investing public operating in the money and capital markets. He urged Nigerians to deepen their investments in the local economy, assuring that 2026 will yield even greater returns as his administration's economic reforms continue to deliver stronger outcomes. With the Nigerian exchange crossing the historic 100 trillion market capitalization mark, the country is witnessing the birth of a new economic reality and rejuvenation. In 2025, while many of the world's markets struggled with stagnation or tepid recovery, the NGX All-Share Index was on the assets. He urged Nigerians to deepen their investment in the local economy, assuring that 2026 will yield even greater returns as his administration's economic reforms continue to deliver stronger outcomes. With the Nigerian exchange crossing the historic 100 trillion market capitalization mark, the country is witnessing the birth of a new economic reality and rejuvenation. In 2025, while many of the world's markets struggle with stagnation or tepid recovery, the NGX All-Share Index was the asset it closed 2025 with a 51.19% return, higher than the 37.65% recorded in 2024. This performance ranks among the highest in the world. In a statement by Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, the year 2026 promises to be an epochal year for delivering prosperity to all Nigerians. the naira has stabilized, moving away from the volatility that once fueled speculation. The Central Bank of Nigeria, in its latest outlook, projects foreign reserves will cross the 50 billion threshold in the first quarter of 2026. Nation building is a process, not a destination. Hard work, sacrifices, and the focus of its citizens build a nation. The 100 trillion market capitalization is a signal to the world that the Nigerian economy is a robust and productive. President Bola Tinubu pledged to continue working unrelentingly to build an egalitarian, transparent, and high-growth economy that will be further catalyzed by the historic tax and fiscal reforms that came into full implementation from January 1. The Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, has assured residents of Ibifaka Polo community in Borokiri, Port Harcourt, of the prompt payment of compensation to those whose properties are on the right-of-way of the Borokiri-Okrika Bridge projects. Executive Director, Finance and Administration, Alaba Boma Iyayi, made this known during inspection of alignment of the road and bridge projects. Jenny Bassi reports.
The Borokiri-Okrika Bridge project was initially awarded in 2012 but was stalled for several years due to various issues including budget constraints and contract variations. Ahead of the resumption of work on this project, the Executive Director of Finance and Administration, Alaba Boma Iyayi, inspected the 3-kilometer road and bridge which links the coastal Okrika local government area to over 30 communities. The EDFA noted that the current board of NGDC is prioritizing completing this significant project as it will turn around the socio-economic fortunes of the coastal local government area.
Contractors have started work from the Okrika alignment, and to the best of my knowledge, they have gone far. However, nothing is happening from the Borokiri alignment. So we felt we should come and see what is the problem. Why is there nothing going on from the Borokiri end? That's why we're here. And we have gone through the alignment with the consultant and the contractor, and they have told us the issue. The issue is nothing other than compensation.
The people commended the current board of NGDC for taking steps to revive the project and promised to give the contractor the needed support to ensure timely completion.
Because one of the things we do, Okrika people really want, and even the outside really want, this bridge we are talking about, it will give massive development to our people. Most of our persons, because of the rent, they've relocated back to Okrika. But this bridge actually will bring the city close to the home, where most persons will be able to operate from village, coming to work in Port Harcourt.
The scope is 3 bridges of 190 meters here at the Chile waterfront. The middle bridge is around 1,120 meters. That one is called the Abotoro Bridge.
Aside from connecting several coastal communities to Port Harcourt, the River State capital, when completed, the road and bridge will reduce traffic congestion on the refinery axis of the East-West Road, as well as reduce traffic time from Okrika to Port Harcourt. In Port Harcourt, Jenny Bassi, NTA News.
Schools across River State have resumed after the Christmas and New Year holidays, bringing an end to weeks of festivities and leisure. As classrooms come alive once again, students, teachers, and parents are now adjusting to the realities of the new academic term. Correspondent Osinachi Samuel reports.
Barely days after the Christmas and New Year celebrations, schools have reopened, with pupils and students returning to the classrooms amid mixed feelings of excitement and adjustment. At several schools visited, attendance is gradually improving as parents and learners settle into the rhythm of early morning routines and academic schedules. Teachers are excited to see their students return in one piece.
Officially, we resume on the 5th of January, and from that day, lecture began. Personally, I taught yesterday, and I think the students, they are back to school. We are still expecting a whole of them, but they are back to school. The classroom is, I think, is getting populated. Yes, knowing fully well that the exam is by the corner, so they are back to school.
Whether we like it or not, the holidays are over. Exams, tests, everything is approaching, so we just have to resume and be serious. So far, we have started lectures, we have had one test, so things are getting serious. Everybody that is still in the house, come back to school.
For the students, yes, they have resumed officially, but let me say that the flow is not yet as supposed to be. But we are looking at maybe next week, the turn-up will increase.
While some parents say early financial planning helped cushion the impact of the festive season, others admit that the economic situation has made the return to school more challenging. Educators, however, say consistent attendance and parental support will be key to a productive term.
For you to participate in the exam, you must attain 75% class attendance. So that makes all of them to be back. They left their Christmas break and resume according to schedule.
The study materials, they are a pain to get, honestly. But apart from that, let's say the learning environment sometimes is cooped up. So it's kind of stressful.
As schools continue with academic activities in the new year, students are gradually finding a balance between post-holiday realities and the demands of education. In Port Harcourt, Osinachi Samuel, NTA News.
Still talking education, examination malpractice in Nigeria has again come under the spotlight with strong calls for the use of technology, strict punishment for erring learners, teachers, parents, and schools involved in the arts. Thomas Obetere reports that these, amongst other issues, were the key submissions made by the guests on NTA's Good Morning Nigeria.
And blocking all leakages that encourage any form of examination malpractice in Nigeria is a necessity. Guests on Good Morning Nigeria stressed that while the adoption of computer-based tests CBT is important, it must be backed by strict sanctions against all examination centers that promote or support the menace. Speaking on randomization and serialization mechanism, the guests explained that the system will be designed to ensure that in the computer-based test, no two candidates answer to the questions are the same, even when they sit on the same examination hall, thereby making cheating more difficult.
And that is why we're even moving to CBT, because in the process of publishing this examination, in the process of transferring this examination, there are different windows that these examination questions can look.
If we're writing the exams at the same time, if you're giving me answers for one and my question is for two, if I copy it, automatically I'm out.
The guest stressed that engaging qualified and ethical teachers is key to preparing students and restoring discipline and credibility in the education system, while highlighting new reforms such as learners' identity numbers and continuous assessment deadlines.
The data we have of candidates will be used and the learner's identification number will be generated, and that number will be what will be used for the examining bodies for both NECO and WAEC.
Parents too must do their own part as parents to ensure that they encourage their wards to learn.
The guests agreed that examination malpractice has undermined the credibility of WAEC and NECO certificates and can only be addressed through urgent action and collective support from government, schools, parents, and students. In Abuja, Thomas Obetere, NTA News.
If you are just joining us, you are watching NTA Port Harcourt News at 1. More reports after the break. Stay tuned.
Brand new sunrise is about to brighten your mornings. Wake up to Good Morning Port Harcourt, your fresh, vibrant and inspiring daily companion.
From the heart of the Garden City, we bring you stories that matter.
From politics to news headlines, sports, entertainment, lifestyle, and community happenings.
And all the information you need to start your day. It's all coming your way from Mondays to Fridays, 6 a.m. to 7 a.m.
Whether you're at home, at work, or on the move, make it a routine.
Only on NTA Channel 10, Port Harcourt.
So don't just wake up. Wake up with us. Good morning, Port Harcourt!
Your birthday is coming. And you're still thinking small? No hype, no crowd, no fun. It's time to level up with Birthday Bars. The biggest birthday show live on TV. Bring your cakes, snacks and drinks. We've got the vibe, we've got the crew and friends for you. Get your birthday tickets now. Adult celebrants, 5,000 naira. Child celebrants, 3,000 naira. Well wishers and other attendees, 2,000 naira. Performances are games, shout-outs, and you on TV. Showing live every last Saturday of the month at 12 noon on NTA Port Harcourt. For sponsorship, adverts, or how to get your tickets, please call 080-370-69516 or 080-330-91338. Birthday Bars, it's your day. Let's make it loud.
Okay, you will love this one. Oh yeah, oh my. Oh yeah, oh my. Oh yeah, oh my.
Glad to know you're still there on the news. For many Nigerians, 2025 was a year of economic adjustments shaped by reforms that affected daily living and business operations across the country. Joy Uzo examines how the economy fared in 2025, impact on formal and informal sectors, as well as areas requiring a boost in 2026.
Nigeria's economy in 2025 was guided closely by reforms focused on inflation control, exchange rate stability, agribusiness, small and medium-scale enterprises, SMEs growth, and improved performance in the oil and gas sector. Though aimed at long-term stability, some of the measures appeared to trigger higher cost of living. The impact was felt strongly in the formal and informal sectors, where businesses strive to adjust to policy shifts and reduce consumer spending. Economy observers are, however, positive that the shocks will help stabilize the economy over time.
We can say that from about mid last year, price has stabilized. They're high, agreed, but they are stabilized. The government is now having more income from the subsidy. There's more money in the hands of the federal, the states, the local governments. So there is a lot of money now being put into infrastructure. And sincerely, if anybody who's honest to say it, go around the country, I travel a lot. We've not had the quantum of federal road infrastructure going on as we have within the last 1 year. And the more they spend on infrastructure, that means there's a multiplier effect.
With the coming of the present government in 2023, there were some key policy decisions that the government made. These are policies that were overdue because the economy was already experiencing difficulties because of institutional cracks and all of that. From the perspective of somebody in finance, you know that though they brought some difficulties, but ultimately they were really going to help to make the economy to self-correct itself. And I believe that in 2026, and of course with the new tax regime, the tax laws, things will ease up.
Looking at 2026, research projects the federal government plans to sustain non-oil growth, tackle food inflation, improve public spending, and expand social protection amid concerns over the implementation of new tax reforms. In Rivers State, emphasis is on employment and productivity. The Ministry of Employment Generation and Economic Empowerment says youth-focused programs in partnership with the federal government will target job creation, including opportunities in the blue economy.
And other areas like National Directorate of Employment, we have entered an MOU. They've given us, for instance, 50 chances for physically challenged people. We have submitted, they've started training.
Expectations are also rising around the 1.8 trillion naira budget approved by the State Executive Council and awaiting passage by the State Assembly, seen as key to stimulating growth and job creation. In Port Harcourt, Joy Uzo, NTA News.
Now to sports. Quarter-finalists battle for honors in African Cup of Nations in Morocco. Enyojo Aduku brings us details of these and other stories on Sports Updates.
All is set for the quarterfinal showdown at the 2025 African Cup of Nations in Morocco. This year's edition saw 4 West African countries battle for honors in the round of 8. North Africa has 3 representatives, while the Central Africa has 1 nation in the quarterfinals. Senegal faces Mali Friday 9th January at 5 p.m. local time in the first quarterfinal match, while Cameroon will battle the host nation Morocco at 8 p.m. The Super Eagles of Nigeria are strategizing to fly over the Desert Foxes of Algeria on Saturday, 10th January at 5 p.m., while defending champions Elephant of Cote d'Ivoire will lock horn with the Pirates of Egypt for the semi-final ticket.
By all standard will be a very tough match.
We need to revenge what Algeria did for us the last time we met at the semi-finals, and I think we have a much stronger squad than we had the last time we met. So
some fixtures for this weekend matches in the Nigerian Premier Football League shows Nasarawa United will host Kano Pillars in Lafia, Enugu Rangers to entertain Rivers United in Enugu, Abia Warriors to square up against Plateau United, while Battle of the Southwest sees Raymond Stars welcoming Ikorodu City to Ikene in Ogun State. Now to tennis. The Australian Open will offer a record prize post of £55 million at this year's tournament, but players are said to be disappointed as it does not represent a greater share of the Grand Slam's total revenue. Total prize money, $111.5 million, represents a 16% increase in last year's, and it is the largest player fund in the tournament's history. Under the new arrangement, the single champions will receive $4.15 million, a 19% increase on the amount which 2025 winner Madison Case and Yinak Sina took home. Players have been raising concerns about the schedule in recent months, saying it is too long and intense. Leading players on the women's tour are expected to play at least 20 mandatory events, 4 Grand Slams, 10 WTA, 1000S and 6 500S, with Sports Update and Ojadiku.
And the Sports Report concludes 1 p.m. news. Just before we go, a quick reminder that you can watch our news streaming live on our social media handles currently showing on your screen. Like our page on Facebook to get updates of our news and programs. You can also watch all our news at NTA Port Harcourt on StarTimes channel 103. Thanks for watching. Good afternoon.